in the pristine cul-de-sacs of Oak Ridge Estates, where every lawn was a perfect shade of green and mailboxes gleamed in HOA-approved bronze, Karen Tremblay ruled with an iron grip. A 57-year-old former event planner with a penchant for floral scarves and a clipboard, Karen saw herself as the arbiter of neighborhood perfection. Her rules banned everything from gaudy garden gnomes to unapproved paint colors, and she patrolled in her golf cart, ready to issue citations. For Lucas Bennett, a 41-year-old electrical engineer and single dad, Karen's tyranny was more than an annoyance. It nearly cost his son's life. Lucas lived in a modest 2-story home, its garage converted into a medical suite for his 10-year-old son, Noah, who had a rare neuromuscular disorder requiring constant care. Noah relied on a ventilator and heart monitor, both powered by a dedicated electrical circuit Lucas had installed to meet hospital-grade standards. The setup, approved by the county and ADA compliant, was a lifeline for Noah, who spent his days reading sci-fi novels and video calling his friends. Karen, however, saw the external conduit pipe as an eyesore and had been leaving notices for months, demanding Lucas relocate it underground, a $20,000 job he couldn't afford. Lucas had explained Noah's condition to Karen, showing her medical letters and permits, but she dismissed them, claiming the pipe lowered property values. He'd even invited her to meet Noah, hoping to appeal to her humanity, but Karen refused, citing HOA neutrality. Lucas, a former Navy electrician with a knack for problem-solving, kept his cool, documenting every interaction. He dealt with worse under pressure at sea, but Karen's persistence tested his patience. The crisis hit on a muggy July evening in 2025. Lucas was in his home office working on a freelance project when the power to Noah's medical suite cut out. Alarms blared from the ventilator's backup battery, giving Lucas 30 minutes before it failed. He rushed to the garage, where Noah's nurse, Emily, was adjusting the equipment. The main house still had power, but the dedicated circuit was dead. Lucas checked the breaker box and found the line to Noah's suite deliberately cut, wires severed at the external junction. His security camera, mounted above the garage, revealed the culprit. Karen, in her golf cart, using bolt cutters at dusk, muttering about non-compliant wiring. She'd acted alone, assuming Lucas was at a parent-teacher meeting he'd mentioned in passing. Lucas's Navy training kicked in. He called 911, reporting a medical emergency and vandalism, then contacted his old Navy buddy, Mike, who ran a construction equipment rental company. "I need a generator, big one now," Lucas said. Mike, understanding the stakes, dispatched a 40-ton industrial generator truck, typically used for disaster relief, to Oak Ridge within minutes. Lucas rerouted power from a backup battery bank to keep Noah's equipment running, his hands steady as he worked, while Emily monitored Noah's vitals. The boy, pale but calm, clutched his favorite sci-fi book, trusting his dad. 5 minutes after the power cut, the generator truck rumbled into Oak Ridge, its diesel engine shaking the cul-de-sac. Lucas directed the driver to park directly in front of Karen's pristine colonial-style home, blocking her driveway. The truck, a hulking beast with a 500 kilowatts generator, roared to life, its cables snaking to Noah's suite, restoring power in under 10 minutes. Neighbors gawked, drawn by the noise, as Lucas secured the connection. Karen, alerted by the commotion, stormed out, her face red with fury. "This is an HOA violation," she shrieked, waving her clipboard. "Move that monstrosity now." Lucas, holding his phone with the security footage paused on Karen's bolt-cutting moment, didn't flinch. "You cut power to my son's life support, Karen. You're lucky he's alive." Before she could respond, 2 sheriff's deputies arrived, responding to Lucas's 911 call. He showed them the footage, the severed wires, and Noah's medical records. Karen stammered, claiming she was enforcing bylaws and thought the circuit was unsafe. The deputies weren't buying it. "You tampered with medical equipment," Deputy Harris said. "That's reckless endangerment at minimum." They cuffed Karen, charging her with vandalism and felony endangerment, as neighbors recorded the scene. The neighborhood's social media group exploded. Lucas posted the footage, captioned, HOA president cut power to my son's ICU gear, nearly killed him. The post went viral, amplified by a thread on a site like X titled, HOA Karen sabotages disabled kid's ventilator, gets arrested. Comments raged, she deserves jail, and HOA needs to pay for this. Residents shared their own Karen stories, her finding a family for a wheelchair ramp, her banning a kid's lemonade stand. A petition to oust her as president gained 90 signatures in hours. At an emergency HOA meeting held in the community center, Lucas presented the evidence. The footage, Noah's medical records, and a $15,000 repair estimate for the circuit. He also revealed his electrician's license, proving the setup was code compliant. Karen, out on bail, didn't attend, but her lawyer sent a letter claiming she acted in good faith. The board, fearing a lawsuit, voted 6-1 to remove her. Lucas filed a $10 million civil suit against Karen and the HOA for damages, emotional distress, and medical endangerment, backed by his lawyer, who cited state laws protecting medical equipment. The suit settled for $2 million, with the HOA's insurance covering most, and Karen personally liable for $200,000. She sold her home to pay, moving to an apartment in town, her reputation ruined. The generator truck stayed parked for a week, a reminder of her folly, until Lucas rewired the circuit with county oversight. The new HOA president, a retired doctor, scrapped Karen's petty rules and approved funding for a community emergency fund. Noah, resilient, returned to his books, while Lucas installed a fortified power box with a biometric lock, ensuring no one could touch his son's lifeline again. Oak Ridge, once stifled, felt alive with neighbors rallying around Noah, their cul-de-sac a community reborn.